What's up, guys? My name is Sean. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your second time being here, because I did post a video last week, and if you watched that video, I just want to say a huge thank you so much. That means a lot to me. For that video only, for that first video that I posted here on my channel, I got like 132 views in 2 weeks, and that's major. That's a milestone personally for me, and I just want to say a huge thank you for that. And for that today I'm gonna be going through some trades. I actually wrote everything down here, and I'm gonna be going through some trades that I actually detect this week, and giving an insight on my perspective on the market. So now I actually caught those trades and what caught my eye, the reasons why I took those trades, and how I managed them going forward, my trade management, right? um so that's it. We're gonna be going through GPCHF, a trade I did take on GPCHF last week, and we're gonna be going through Nasdaq. I had a beautiful trade on Nasdaq, and what we can actually expect in the coming weeks. And I'm also gonna be going through USD JPY and the dollar index, right? So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let me just take this webcam, and I just wanna apologize for the quality of my webcam. It's a little bit blurry and stuff like that, but the most important thing is the knowledge that I'm gonna be sharing with you guys on this video, not the quality of my webcam. So let's get into it. Let's not waste no time, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into this. So the first off, sorry for that. So first off, we wanna start on GBP right? I'm just gonna explain a little bit of what actually caught my eye and why I did take this trade. So we're gonna start on the higher time frame. You know, multi-time frame analysis is very important. So I'm gonna rewind my my chart, right? So if you're using TradingView to mark up your charts, an important thing to get is this rewind here. This costs, like, if you're in South Africa, this costs like 500 rands to get a subscription for this. So just get this. It's very helpful, and you can use this to back test and do a lot of things. You can actually get a free trial for this if you're a new user to TradingView, but it's better if you just get the paid version of it, because no ads on your chart. It's just clean chart. So let me just rewind all of this here, right? So let's get into this, right? I don't want to keep this video very long, so I'm gonna try to explain as much as I can, and also keeping not speaking too fast, so you guys can actually understand what I'm actually looking at, what I was looking at, and why I took this trade. So basically, we didn't have this here, right? So I'm just gonna take this off. So remember, 28 pips here. So what I was looking at here, remember, if you watched my first video, you'd understand the way that I trade. Now I don't use any indicators on my chart. What I just look at is pure price action, and actually trade it actually takes signals from the market to be able to capitalize on certain moves. So the way I trade is it's simple. It's impulse correction, impulse correction, those type of movements and stuff like that. The, this is this has actually transformed my trading, because I used to trade things like support and resistance, and for me they were just not working out until I started trading patterns, right? So let's get into this. So what I saw here, if you go to the daily, it's very important to implement multi-time frame analysis, actually taking things from the bigger time frames and actually coming down with it, right? So what we can see here from this, what we can see here is that on the daily chart, what we can see is that price has just been tanking down right here, right? It's just been tanking down. So this is telling me that there's a lot of bearish sentiment in this market. There's a lot of people who are shorting this pair here, right? So what caught my eye was that we did break this low right here, right? So we did break these lows right here. Let me just put it somewhere. We did break this low here. Now if you trade support and resistance, this is a nice break and retest of that of this level here, right? So after I saw that, what I did is I kept in mind of this impulse here. So when you see an impulsive move, now an impulsive move is when you see a lot of momentum progressing in one direction. So this told me that the market, This told me that most people are selling this pair, right? And also confirming to me that there's a lot of bearish momentum in this market. So, right, and then what I did is I went to my 4-hour time frame. Now on my 4-hour time frame, what I was looking for was to see this market in a corrective phase, so I can be able to prepare for the next phase that comes, which is the impulsive phase. For example, I just want to highlight something to you guys. As you can see here, when we have our head and shoulders right here, our head and shoulders right here, right, the market did make this impulsive push to the downside, right? We just take that out, right? The market did make this impulsive push. Let me start here. The market made this impulsive push, correction, push, correction, push, correction, right? So I wasn't able to capitalize on this first initial push here. So what I did is I waited for another correction to appear in the market. So what I saw was that we did create this deeper correction here. Right? We did create this deeper correction right here. Right now, I like this type of pattern because I've backtested this type of patterns. This type of patterns, they normally work out most of the time compared to these ones. Personally, for me, right, compared to these ones, because with these patterns here, what I do is I get premature entries and I end up losing, right? So when I got this pattern right here, this pattern that I'm looking at right here, let me just highlight. When I got this pattern here, now it was preparing me for the next phase, right, for the next move, which is going to be impulsive move to the downside, right? So what I did is I actually went down to my lower time frames after marking up all of this stuff here. I went to the 1-hour time frame. This way I like to take my entries. I will not go to the M30, M15 unless it's for refinement, to actually kind of see what's cooking on the bottom there. So first, what I did have is I did have this trend line here. This trend line here, right? Now, as you can see, we have our first touch here, our second touch here, right? And we're going up for our third touch. So this right here would have something like this, right? This right here would be our third touch initially before all of this happened here, right? This would be our third touch. But when I saw the market kept correcting and going upwards, what I did is, let me just delete this trend line. No, let me just wait backwards. What I did is I just did this right now. Right now, the reason being is for you, because you've learned how to trade using support and resistance. Now trend lines actually play a large role in your trading system of support and resistance, but for me, trend lines are just there as a guideline, as a framework, right? I don't make them subjective, like if they break this trend line I want to see a retest. Nah, for me it's just a guideline, a framework. I don't put a lot of value on trend lines. They just there to guide me, right? So what I saw, that what I loved here, that actually gave me more confidence to taking this trade, was that if we look here, right, what we have within this pattern here, right? So what we have is we have this a series of impulses, correction here, impulse, correction, impulse, then we had this nice correction, right? Now there was a lot of confluence that led me to take this trade. The first confluence was that, as you can see here, if we zoom out of this chart here, right, if we zoom out of this chart here, as you can see, what we have here is we have this ascending structure here, this whole structure here, right? It's ascending, so it's going up right now. Normally those types of patterns, they normally break down to the downside, right? But not only that, within that ascending type of structure, what we have is we have an ascending within an ascending, right? We have a pattern within a pattern, right? That's why I actually weighed in this trend line, to actually took this trend line back a little bit, so that I can implement what's called pattern separation, where I'm separating two patterns to actually get a clear view of the other pattern, right? So if I see a pattern within a pattern, like this ascending pattern here, and then we also have another ascending pattern within it, I get very excited, because that means that there's a lot more confluence aligning up with my initial bias, right? So what I saw here is that within this pattern, now I was just focusing on this I was focusing mainly on this pattern here, right? So what I liked is we had our first touch here, our second touch here, and with our third touch. Not only that, guys, look at this beautiful, with a double top structure, right? So now with a double top structure, what I mainly look at is what I like to see. Okay, let me just get a clear page. So if I see so you can see a double top like this, right? And most of you guys are gonna be taking sales and stuff like that, right? But what I actually like to see is I like to see how it approaches. So let's say that we have this line here, like this is our double top guideline. So we have the first push, right? Came back. Now what I like to see on the second push is I like to see how the market reaches that second push. So if it comes in like this, right, that's a no-brainer. I'm definitely taking that trade because it's gonna require a lot more momentum to break this structure here compared to just your normal double top structure, right? So right, so it's very important to remember what I just said now, because it's gonna help improve your trading a lot, right? So what I liked is I was seeing a lot of confluence within this trade. Now let's go to my targets, what I was aiming for. What were my targets here? So my targets initially, what I like to target is, I know that this is a 90% probability of dropping to the downside, right? Of dropping to where it actually began. Guys, no one was ever gonna tell you this. This is very important. A lot of people who trade this type of way will never actually like review a lot of things that I'm actually like sharing with you guys for free, you know. So I know initially this is a 90% probability of dropping to the downside, but that doesn't mean it's just gonna drop once. Now it's gonna take its time to really to move, you know, catching more people on the wrong side of the market as it drops. So what I liked here is that what I waited for initially was the first impulsive move to the downside, which was this here, right? I couldn't catch it at the top of the channel. So what I saw was this, and then I saw this nice continuation pattern being printed on the 1 hour, right? So what you can do is, let's just go to the 30-minute and we see if we can really get that right. So what I saw was this was very beautiful. I liked this, right? Now I couldn't catch it for a risk entry, right? Now there are two types of entries that I trade within my trading system, which are risk entries and reduced risk entries, right? So I didn't want to take this, right? I couldn't get that entry because I was late. So what I did is I put in order. I put in order. I put in order just outside there, 4 to 6 pips outside. Let's just get that nicely. So if you go back to the 1 hour, what I did is I put in order just around I put in order just 4 to 6 pips right here. My stop loss was about 28 pips, and I did tell you guys to remember this. My stop loss was just 28 pips. Just a big stop loss, but it's okay. Risking only 1%. My first target was this one here, this low here, right? My first target was this low right here, this low right here. This was my first target, right? So as soon as I entered this trade, what it did is it took me in, and just kept going, right? Now I was looking to, now another tip I can just give you guys real quick is that don't another tip I just want to give you guys is, don't put your trade to break even just like now, because what can happen is that it can spike up and then continue going to the downside. So just be patient, trust in your analysis. Don't put your trades to break even just yet. What you can just do right now is just monitor it closely to see what's actually happening. So what I did is, when I saw this nice continuation pattern here, now this is another opportunity for me to actually add on more positions, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that just yet. If I had added, I would have just added a nice little position to maximize on that position, right, and just hold it here. But I actually didn't. To be honest, I didn't take that trade, so I'm not gonna put it there. So what I did is I saw this, right? Now I was looking to lock in my profit. So what I did is I put it just to the high of this candle here, the high of this candle here, and then just hit my take profit target 2 almost. I closed about 80% of the trade right here. I closed about 80%. Sorry for that. I closed about 80% of the trade just there, because after this big impulsive move here, I'm expecting a pattern to be printed. You know, I'm expecting the market to get into its second phase, which is actually creating a pattern, whether a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern. So this was a beautiful trade, right? This was a beautiful trade, guys. This was a beautiful trade, right? That's trade number 1. Let's go to the next one, which is on Nasdaq. right? So it's trade number 2. Now Nasdaq is super volatile, so I like to like just look at the bigger time frame to see where the momentum currently is, and then I would go to the lower time frames to take my entries and to actually trade. I like to scalp Nasdaq, so I did not take. I would be lying if I told you guys I took this whole trade here. I closed earlier, very early. So I like to run away with my profits on Nasdaq because it's super volatile and it can make you or break you. Alright, so Nasdaq is very simple. So what I saw is that I saw this initial push to the downside here. Right now, I could have targeted this part here when this continuation pattern was actually printed and actually bought here and actually sold. I mean, I could have sold this move here, but I did not see that move happening. I know a lot of people who bought here, so when it created this continuation pattern right here, which looked very tempting. After this, I know a lot of people who bought here, and all of those people were effed up. So what I saw with Nasdaq is after I saw this initial big impulsive to the downside, what I waited for was for a pattern to be created, which was this pattern here, but I did not catch all of this here. What I did catch was this part here. So what we have here is we have a double top again. Now what I was explaining to you in the previous videos, I like to see how it creates the second peak of the double top, right? So the double top. So as we can see, it's actually creating it in a corrective manner. Right now, I did not get an entry on this part here. What I did is I waited for a new pattern to be printed, which was this pattern here. Now this pattern here, after this impulse here, is just a signal for a continuation, right? So where I got my entries, I got it right there. Let me just do this so you guys can actually see the price inside. So where I got my entries, I got it just right here. I got it just right there, and I did close my position around here. So just about a 1-to-1, to be honest with you guys. And this all just happened, there. Now what I can give on Nasdaq is that, look, we all know that the forex market is 90% technical and 10% fundamental, right? So with Nasdaq, it's mostly fundamentally controlled, right? There's not a lot of technicals. Like most technicals, they would play out, but sometimes you lose based on fundamental announcements. So just make sure that you're trading in the proper session. My advice is trade in the US Open, in the US session, and actually track your fundamentals. Mainly, you can watch Bloomberg, or you can use investing.com to see what is the president of the United States gonna say, because it's a stock, it's an index, it's controlled mainly by what happens within the economy, like what's happening with certain companies like Tesla and YouTube, all of these big companies. So it's very important for you to keep up with those things if you're gonna be trading this pair, right? Because it's super volatile, right? So just be careful when you're trading this pair, to be honest with you guys. Now I've only showed my wins now, but I did take a few losses, mainly because of premature entries. I took a loss on USD/JPY today. I'm still looking to continue with that trade. I also took a loss on NZD/USD. Let me just go to USD/JPY and actually explain why I took that loss. But with Nasdaq, normally right now, what I'll be doing, I'll be looking for a sell. But bear in mind, you see, the Nasdaq composite okay. The Nasdaq, right? What it is it is 100 of the biggest companies on the NYSE, right? So this is just an index to track the progression of those companies, like how they're moving, what's happening, right? So what you need to do is you need to be tracking some of the biggest companies on the Nasdaq 100 to see how they're moving, right? So you don't want to be, in my opinion, you don't want to be selling Nasdaq a lot of the times. You want to be looking for buying opportunities. Reason being, these companies that are there, they're always looking to grow, they're always improving. And Nasdaq, it's like just go in the past and look how it moves. It's been moving up, I don't know since when. Right, so this was a beautiful trade. I'm gonna go through some of my losses. Yeah, and mainly also the reason why I took this trade was also because my Fibonacci. So if I just take my Fibonacci from the top part to the low part, and I just do this here, I can see it came to reject my 764 and my 618. Those are PR, price reversal zones, and if you trade Fibonacci, this was like a very good entry, So let's go to my USD JPY trade. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now I'm not gonna go in depth with this. I don't wanna waste a lot of people's time. So I just marked off some stuff that are very irrelevant, but I just want you guys to see we have an impulse here, correction here, impulse here, correction here, impulse here, right? We have an impulse here, we have this nice pattern being created, this head and shoulders pattern, right? Also, we can also say it's an ascending channel, which is a reversal pattern in my price action book. And we had a nice, beautiful correction after this initial impulse with another impulse, right? Excuse me. So one thing that I want to point out is that like what I said about trend lines, for me they're just frameworks, a guideline, right? What I like to look at is how a trend line is actually broken, right? So if price breaks a trend line impulsively, now that's valid for me. But if it just comes to the trend line like this here, like corrective, right, now that's a invalid break of the trend, in that I'll just be looking to evolve my structures, right? So with this trade here, I'm gonna start on the 1 hour, right? There's not really much to look at here. Okay, let me go to the 4 hour just for you guys to see. Now I did take a loss on this one here, but it's fine. What we can look here on USD JPY is that we had this initial push to the downside, indicating that most momentum is to the downside, right? And we had this beautiful continuation pattern right here, right? Which people would have, I did not short this, I would have been looking to short someone maybe here, but it actually continued going, right? So what I did is I marked off this zone here, because if you look closely you can see this head and shoulders kind of structure, right? If you look closely you see that head and shoulders, and these are just what left shoulder and the right shoulder, and we have our neckline here, right? So what I liked about this is the pattern that I actually got right around here, right? So if we look closely, what we can see right here is we have this first touch here, we have this second touch here, and this would be our third touch right around here. Now when I was looking at this, it looked like this. It looked like this. Looked like this. That's what it looked like. Now when I saw this impulsive break, continuation pattern. What I did is I entered right here after this engulfing candle closed. I entered right here. My targets are just right around here, and I have what, a nice 16 pip stop loss right around here. So this actually did go into profit and then came to stop me out. But you lose some, you win some. What's important is you managing your risk. You actually controlling your risk. So the one rule that I never disobey, no matter what, is I'm always risking 1% on each trade. It takes long to grow accounts, but it's sustainable. Capital preservation is very important. It's key, right? So what I'm gonna leave you guys with to look at for next week and the following weeks to come maybe is USD JPY here. So just monitor USD JPY closely. Just monitor USD JPY closely. I feel that this is actually going to continue to go to the upside, and I have no doubt in my mind about that. Because I would take this type of trade 1,000 times. Mainly what I'm actually looking at here, what I'm thinking is that we're just coming to retest these lows here and actually continue going to the upside. But yeah, you know, that's just it from me for now. You guys, you have a good trading week. Next week I'm gonna, if I get at least 50 views on this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an outlook on some of the pairs that I'm actually looking at, like NZUSD or USD. And if you need help, if you think that I'm capping about all of these things that I'm sending you, if you think I'm capping, I'm big cap, I'm just doing this, just to put things out there on YouTube. You can actually go and look in this group chat here where I'm actually sending all of my analysis. I'm actually sharing with people what the way that I view the market in a different perspective. So just go and look in this group here. I actually do send out most of my trades. Like for example, this trade I was looking at, right? So you can see my name here. I just said trade for something. You can see this trade that I did take sent. You can see this beautiful trade on USD a trade that I just showed you guys here. I did change the color of my screen because for when I record something, it's not gonna look clear. I did give you guys this outlook on USD I was also looking at NZD odd USD, right? I did not go through that. I was also looking at NZD. Now I did end up getting stop loss on NZD, and on odd USD I did pull out quick. I'm also sending my analysis on this group here. Just go join these two groups here. I will put the link in the description. I just want to shout out to a very good person, Kai, for creating this group. You can go follow him. Kai is the guy on Instagram. He's also a forex trader, and therefore Carlos Guzman for creating this group, which has been helpful to a lot of people. But basically, that's all I want to leave you guys with. Just work hard to improve, and yeah, man, just work hard to improve each and every single day, and that's basically it. So let's just end this video right here. I'm gonna so that was it from me. I did share a lot of insight in this. Now if you think I'm capping about everything that I'm sharing with you guys, you can go and check out those two groups. I do send a lot of my analysis there. I do send a lot of my markups there, and I don't explain because it take a lot of typing for me to explain why I'm actually taking a certain trade. So I use these YouTube videos to actually educate some people on my style of trading. Right. So I just want to leave you guys with that, and I wish you a very good trading week coming up next week. Just stay focused and stay safe, man, during this whole pandemic and stuff like that. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Just like, subscribe, and comment down below if this is helping you. Just comment. Even two people commenting would actually mean a lot to me, or actually subscribing to this channel would mean a lot to me, because I do put a lot of energy and a lot of time to make these videos. you know Thank you so much. Peace.